This thing.
Jace Hinton, and he's kind of the do-all guy.
Jace Hinton, Jace, welcome to the ballpark, brother.
We started talking like sports, and Jace is on fire.
I know.
What is happening, everybody? Media Man and friends back here with another episode. Super excited about this guest. As always, y'all know the drill. We bring on a guest. They talk about their journey and the great things they are doing in the world, whether it be in the sports world or just the regular everyday life. Today, we got Mr. Theo Smith. Theo, go ahead and tell people about yourself, bro.
How's everybody doing? My name is Theo Smith. Currently right now I'm a marketing and communications specialist for Louisville women's basketball. Played college baseball, major undergrad in mass communications, got my graduate degree. I just got an MBA for graduate, and been in the industry now, including undergrad, I'll say about 8-9 years now. So yeah, it's been a pretty long ride now.
He's one of the best to do it, people. I tell you something. I saw this guy's videos. My first time really seeing it, like I knew, obviously you worked at Mesa there for a while. So I saw your videos, but I didn't know it was you doing it. And then when I saw you, I met you at JUCO. We worked the JUCO World Series together. That's when I was really like, oh, this guy's definitely one of the best in the industry doing it right now, doing his thing out there. But you talked about you played college baseball. Where did you play college baseball at?
So I did my first year at Southern University in Baton Rouge, and I transferred to Albany State in South Georgia and finished there. So about 5 years. I got hurt my senior year, so that gave me opportunity to do grad school. So that was one of the good things about it.
Yeah, so you talked about Southern. Talk about the recruiting process to Southern for you.
Man, my recruiting process was different. Coming out of high school, I didn't really play travel ball my junior and senior year. I just played in a college league. And my coach, Jason Anderson, he kind of recruited me to go there. I only had one offer out of high school, and it just happened to be that school. And I didn't even take a visit or anything. I kind of just signed and went. So yeah, it was not like any other journey. I wasn't really highly recruited or anything. That was my only offer, and I pretty much took it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about the recruiting process, even nowadays, you and I spoke about the whole transfer portal thing being a thing now. Like, when you transferred to Albany, did you have to sit out?
So I was actually going to go to Grambling after I left Southern, but my coach didn't release me, so I would have had to sit out 2 years if I would have went to Grambling. So at that point, it was just like kind of rode the bench my freshman year, just wanted to play and just go somewhere where I at least got a chance to play because
Mm-hmm.
you're not guaranteed a spot nowhere you go. So I took my chance to go there. And I knew a lot of my teammates there. A lot of some of my teammates I grew up playing with. Um, all the way from like park ball, rec ball to like high school and travel ball. I knew some of those teammates, so it was a good fit for me. And I'm glad where that took me. I mean, it was like a blessing in disguise.
No doubt about it. When you talked about you'd been in the industry, you've been in it 8-9 years now. Did that start at Albany State?
Yeah, it actually did. About my junior year, of course, you go into college sports. Everybody's goal is to make the league, but
Yeah.
reality starts kicking in, and your career doesn't go the way you want it to. So I was already in mass communications, and I actually wanted to start film when I got into it. But then um I had to do like a couple of projects, and it was just dependability, not being able to depend on anybody. So I had to scrap my movie for a class project. And we were already in season, so I basically just did like a mini doc about 15 minutes long with some of my teammates about their experience with college baseball and kind of their journey as well. So I did that for my class project, and then from then on, it was just about sports media and sports content, and I actually started off in sports information, and I was picking it up pretty well. I knew my baseball, my basketball, my
Yep.
football. But it came one day I had to try out volleyball, and I usually don't let anything defeat me. But volleyball just kind of just did it for me. Like I couldn't stat it, I couldn't keep up
Yep.
with it. It was too fast, and then I just had to go back to the drawing boards and kind of rethink where I wanted to go. And my athletic director at the time, Cherie Gordon, she let me help out with everything. I just volunteered as an undergrad, doing whatever I can, and then that's when I kind of just it kind of made sense for me to try out, sports media like graphic design, video content, and everything related to it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, starting in sports information, like that's funny because volleyball was like the first sport I learned, like how to like
Right.
stat and everything. And man, it's so fast. It's yeah. If you can't like if you're not locked in, you ain't gonna pick it up type of thing with volleyball.
Yeah, and I didn't, of course, I watched it, but not knowing
Yeah,
the positions or anything before that, that didn't help either. So I knew it was a battle that just defeated me. So
yeah. So growing up, did you play like football and baseball, or was it just baseball? Did you play basketball, football? What other sports did you play in high school?
So I played a little football in my youth days, nothing too special. I actually like football. I just didn't like football practice. It's like we out here killing each other, like, and then that was back when they had like two a days and all that.
Yeah,
It was just draining for me. I did not like football practice at all.
yeah.
Love the games, but yeah, practice just wasn't for me. A little bit of basketball. Stopped that at middle school, but then it was just baseball from then on.
Yeah, so baseball obviously was like the sport that took you to where you were. So how did you okay, so you're from where are you from again?
I'm from Ellenwood, Georgia, which is
Okay, so
about 10,
Georgia.
15 minutes from Atlanta.
I was gonna say I remember us talking. I thought you were from the Atlanta area.
Yeah, I mean, basically that I would say. I mean, I grew up in kind of both parts. Most of my family is in Atlanta, but
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely grew up in both. Lived about most of my life in Ellenwood, Georgia too,
Yeah.
and it's
So
about the east side of Atlanta.
okay. Yeah, I remember the conversations that we had about you. You were from Atlanta. I know you're a big Braves guy.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so let me ask you
Sir.
this question: how did you end up in Grand Junction, Colorado, of all the places in the world, from Atlanta?
Well, I mean, it started with baseball. If I never would have played baseball, this journey wouldn't have happened. So, started off at Albany State, where my journey started. Like I told you, started in sports information, but at the D2 level, you do a little everything. So I had my hands in a lot.
Yeah,
Just trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't really know it was an industry. College athletics was really an industry with like different jobs. So that
yeah,
kind of intrigued me a little bit. And then my athletic director at the time, Cherie Gordon, and the sports information director, April Emery, they kind of introduced me to it. And when I graduated and from grad school, went to Wayne State, Nebraska, Wayne State College, town about 5,000 people. And that's where I learned how to do Daktronics, video board stuff. But that was short lived because that was actually 2020. So I was there for about 2 months,
oh
2 3
yeah,
months, something like that. That was like my first time having like real like published work. Like he kind of just gave me the keys. Mike Gross, sports information director there, he gave me the keys and kind of just let me show my talents. I got to go to a beach volleyball game down in Nebraska. That was a pretty good experience just to see how like the bigger colleges, how their facilities look and how they do things around there and all the resources they have. And then the next year, I was at a school called Francis Marion University, Division II college in Florence, South Carolina, about an hour away from Myrtle Beach, and I did marketing and content there. And that was just a 1 year internship. It was like a smaller Division II. They didn't have football or anything like that. I think their biggest sport was like soccer. But yeah, from there I ran all the video board operations because before I got there, we had a meeting And they basically said, yeah, we got all this video board stuff, and we picked you because you got experience with it. So it kind of had to start from ground zero, but I like the process of that. Just
Yeah.
I never thought I could have did it, but I was kind of put in place to do it, and just made it happen. And with that, that's where I kind of grew my skills with the content and graphic design, because if I was going to take this on, I wanted my work to be good, so just endless days on YouTube trying to figure things out, still trying to figure out Photoshop. I kind of dove deep into that during COVID. And then after I left Francis Marion, my same athletic director from Albany State, she connected me with Kimberly Miller, and she was already at Augustana and Sioux Falls. And there I was kind of doing a little bit, it was like 50-50. That was like my first full-time job. And I was doing compliance and content. And when I got there, that's when everything kind of kicked off. I met a guy named Trey Harrell. He was the director of creative content at Augustana. And I think the first day he came, I was like, hey, like, check me out, like, see where I am.
Yeah.
And, from that day, I mean, to this day, we still talk. He helped me a lot on this journey. He taught me, how to work a camera, because, it's not just turning the camera on and, just going. He taught me the basics of it. And pretty much everything he did, I was just a fly on the wall trying to observe and take in all that information. So I was there for about a year and a half, and he prepared me to go to Grand Junction, where Kimberly Miller was the AD there, and she brought me on to be the assistant athletic director for content. So that's how I got to Grand Junction. It was a long ride. I mean,
Yeah.
from 2020 to 2022, end of that. So yeah, it was a long ride, man. It was definitely a long journey.
Yeah, I mean, cause like, okay, obviously I'm in a smaller town than Junction in Las Vegas, New Mexico, but like me being from that Grand Junction area, being from Fruta, it's just so weird to like sit there and think of people that make it down there and like stay down there. And it's like, if you're not from here, why are you? And I know you didn't go to school at Mesa. Sometimes you get that, oh, I went to school at Mesa. I really liked it down here. But I
Right.
know, knowing you didn't go, I just wanted to know. I was like, how did you end up there? So now
Yeah, man.
you were there at Colorado Mesa for a while, and then
Yeah.
you ended up getting the job at Louisville.
Yeah.
Was basketball kind of like always the sport that you enjoyed working the most, or like is there one sport that you've enjoyed working the most?
Just being, at Division II schools, like, well, at a place like Mesa, I was exposed to a lot, like, like
Yeah.
women's wrestling. That was the first time I covered swimming. Um,
Yeah.
First time I covered golf. I pretty much enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
Sports has always been a big thing in my family. Um, my dad played football at Davidson. I had cousins that played football at Division I schools. My sister, she played softball at Savannah State when they were Division I. So it's kind of just been always around, and I enjoy it. I go to anything. I mean, especially baseball, since I played it. I mean, I'll go
Yeah.
watch a t-ball game, a high school game, a college game. It really doesn't matter, and same for
Yeah.
all of them. It's just,
Yeah.
enjoying the game, watching different players, and yeah, just a lover of sports.
Yeah. So there wasn't ever really like one that you specifically enjoyed, like
Mm,
covering.
ah,
Like
it's kind of
cause I,
hard to
cause
rank
I
them.
can, I can tell you right now, like I got my favorites, but like you said, it's just a love of all the sports. And then
Yeah,
you
it's
kind of
just
like, everybody loves being on camera, so you kind of, as the camera guys, we kind of get to know the athletes a little bit. So then it's like, oh, these are my people. I'm pulling for these people.
yeah, and I think that's kind of the part of why it's hard to pick one, because it's just
Yeah,
like, and that's why I do my job. I mean, like you say, if someone's in front of a camera, it just puts a smile on their face. It makes their day. So it's just like,
absolutely.
seeing that from all teams, it kind of just makes me love them all, man. Like, but of course, I think I would have to say my top three are definitely football, basketball, and baseball.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
football, just all the adrenaline. I mean, it's just, it's just in basketball. I mean, even though I played baseball, as you know, you played baseball too,
Yep.
people say, oh, baseball is boring, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, yeah, it's boring if you don't know what's going on.
Exactly. Yep. I mean,
But yeah,
that's the fun thing when we're in the broadcast booth. I'm so intense on it. I'm, analyzing every little thing that there is, and people that I might, know that, oh man, I don't want to go to the game. It's boring. I said, yeah, because you don't understand what's happening. Like y'all
exactly.
don't get y'all don't get it for real. So now you're at Louisville. Talk about so far that experience being. Obviously, I know you've been around like Division 1 sports, but like being able to work at the Division 1 level, like what has that been like?
It's been good. I came in December, so the season already started. But the people there have, been a big help since I've been there. The marketing department, my department, they did a good job with easing me in on a lot of things and making the transition, good. And I think it was, better for me to come like during that time because, of course, they do things different. It's more extensive with like sponsorships and brands and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, like this year, I kind of just, I wouldn't say I sat back, but I just kind of watched, observed, took notes. And I'm trying to already, go into next year, with a full plan and everything from everything I gathered last season. So yeah, but everybody's been a big help. I mean, and then the resources here obviously, are endless. It makes it
Oh yeah.
easier because, sometimes you gotta make a way at Division 2 schools and the process might be longer, but with these resources, they just, make everything easier, as far even like little things like organizing, like I mean, you'd be surprised, like, just organizing stuff, with doing it with like Google Drive versus you have, basically a platform for each and everything you need. So
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about resources on here with uh some other guests and just the difference at the Division 2 level to the Division 1 level, whether it be athletics or playing or working, like the resources difference, like people don't realize are so much drastically different. So
right.
when
And I think, at the Division 2 level, it builds character too because the way I try to work, I try to have a routine a little bit of how I do everything. It might take a couple of months to figure out, but once I get it down, I just try to figure out a way to do everything faster and
yeah,
effectively. So, but yeah, even at the what I had, at the Division 2 level too, was good. Definitely I appreciate, what they were able to do for me as
yeah.
well.
No doubt. So let me ask you this one. When you look at 5 years, 10 years down the road, where do you want to go with your like videography? Like, is there like, are you trying to build this into a you know, like a company, or are you just gonna keep kind of just wherever wherever you're supposed to be to work at? Like, what's your plan for you?
Man, it's crazy you asked that because it's like, the goal was, to get to this level and the person I work under, Lamont Russell, he kind of ran that by me one time, just looking ahead for the
Hmm.
future. And I'm like, dang, like I really don't know. Like, like this was kind of the goal and I'm, enjoying it. So I kind of gotta go back to the drawing board and, figure that out. But I'm, not in a rush to figure that out. I love where I've been, love where I am right now. But I mean, for me, I mean, just going through my experience and, just listening to my parents' advice because that's how I even got into it. Of course, when you go to college, the goal is, oh, I want to get this degree and just make a lot of money.
Yeah,
But they gave me a little game on that. They was like, whatever you enjoy, that's probably what you should study because once you get into working, depending on if you hit the jackpot or something like that, you're gonna be working for a long time. So
yeah,
you might as well at least enjoy it. So that's what kind of made me want to major in communications anyway. And really, I just want to be in the, the right situation, work around, like good people, great environment. Like I've been lucky, for that to happen for me. So I'm kind of just enjoying it. But as far as, where I want to go career wise with it, like that's just something I need to, think about on the way and go back to the drawing boards, on this. I might find out something that I didn't know existed, and then I actually went to a conference and it was just on a whole nother level, like meeting people from like different sports agencies and professional organizations and
Yeah.
conference offices. I mean, it's a lot out there. So and I've been there, yeah, I got there in December. So yeah, I haven't been there a long time. So but yeah, right now I'm just kind of enjoying it and seeing where it takes me.
So are you a Georgia Bulldog guy?
Oh yeah, Georgia, everything. Hawks,
Yeah.
Braves,
The
Falcons.
Hawks.
Yeah.
The Hawks, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
we
it's a struggle bus right now in Atlanta baseball.
man, yeah, it is. And they're usually, the ones that keep us up and give us hope. But the season's young, we still
It is
missing
young.
Acuna, Spencer Strider. So I think once we get those key pieces back, I mean, we'll be all right. It's a 162 game season. So,
It's a long
we
season.
just we just grinding it out right now. A lot of characters being built, And I mean, long as we make the playoffs, I mean, we can always make a run. So we
Yeah.
just holding on, cross my fingers.
Hey, when you started in this, because I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm gonna be straight up honest here. Videography wasn't something for me that I was like, yeah, like I want to do that. Like I started my YouTube channel and it was a joke. I was bored. Like I did some film stuff in high school and I enjoyed it, but like I didn't really think videography or doing like any sort of film anything was really in my cards. And then like Deion Sanders comes to Colorado. Obviously, I'm a Colorado guy, right? Deion
Right.
Sanders, he comes to Colorado, and his son, Deion Jr., Bucky, he's kind of putting all these out. And I was like, yo,
Yeah.
if I could do something like that, like I'm here for it, Like when you started out, who was your like, you know what? That's where I want to take inspiration from. Like I see these videos and I take inspiration for you.
Yeah.
Like who was that?
Yeah, definitely Trey Harrell when I worked at Augustana. Like he kind of just made me want to dive deep into that part.
Yeah.
Because before then it was a lot of graphic design. I might have
Yeah.
did like one or two videos here and there at Francis Marion. But like even my school that I started off at Division 1, it was lower level, so we didn't have any of that. And then at the Division 2 level, it was kind of non-existent, when I was playing. And then when I got to Augustana, I just seen Trey doing what he does. And then, asking him questions, I was like, man, this is like cool. Like, I mean, you get to have the camera, you get the best seat in the house. I
Yeah.
mean, just I enjoy like doing both the video process and the editing process. So yeah, definitely something I fell in love with quick. And then just, doing my own part, learning more about, the camera and how I can make my quality better and, just dove down this deep rabbit hole. And I mean, and that's kind of one of my things I want to do this summer, just kind of refine my skills, add a little more to it because of course, with communications, technology is always changing. So, I just want to and I have a little more time because I was covering about 15 to 20 sports when I was at Mesa. So now I got time to kind of refine my skills and find new things that I can incorporate with women's basketball here at Louisville.
Yeah, just kind of focus on one sport. Talk about real quick the tournament. You got to go to the tournament. Louisville made the women's big dance, the March Madness dance on the women's side. What was that experience like being at the tournament?
Man, it was fun. Of course, watching it on TV and being there, I mean, it's a totally different feeling, man. It was fun. I was just taking it all in. I mean, I enjoyed it from the start, the travel there, arriving there, the practices, the walkthroughs before games. Like, I don't know, I think I was more excited than anybody there. I mean, from the coaches, the players, because they've done it.
Yeah.
Of course, for that program, I mean, they pretty much make the tournament every year. Then the four Final Fours and like 8 Elite Eights, and every probably accomplished everything. The only thing have left to do is to win the big one. But man, I enjoyed it, man. I mean, and especially when we played TCU, I mean, it was sold out. It was loud.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the environment itself is just exciting. So yeah, looking forward to that next year. Of course, that was a great experience for sure.
And you was putting up some half court shots. I seen that. Knocking some half court shots down. I seen it. I seen you putting in that work on the court.
Yeah, man, that was funny because that was after a practice. Because usually,
Yeah.
I like to joke around, if time permits, because usually we take up all the time, but that day we had some time left, and some of the team were putting up half court shots, and then I put the camera down. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to go out
Yeah.
there. Then
Let me have that
then the
bad
phot-
boy.
then the photographer, Tara Smith, one of my good friends and coworkers, she was like, yeah, don't embarrass yourself. I was like, all right. So went out there, of course, got ready for it. On the first one, just went in. And she took pictures of the whole thing. That was funny. I even put a little celebration at the end. But yeah, man, that was and I usually like post all my shots. Like I'll do like one take, whether if it's a make or miss, I'll post it, because nobody's in like making all the shots, 100%. So
Yeah.
and it's funny, I get more likes on the misses than I do the makes. I just wish that one was on video because that was the one I was like, all right, I'm not shooting anything else or posting any more shots this year. I was satisfied with that one. Like that, yeah, that was the icing on the cake.
Knocking it down from half court. There's a video out there somewhere. Like it's halftime of one of our basketball games. Had to have been one of our men's games here. And I just picked up the basketball and just started shooting half court shots. And I finally made one. I walked off the court. I left the whole gym, but I don't know where that video is. But yeah, I mean, you get a little time. You'd like to play around a little bit with it. You get to play
Yeah,
around a bit.
especially there, like after practice, if I'm there late and the gym is empty, I might just go up there like just chugging like shots from out of bounds, half court. It's just fun just being out there. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm not practicing to go to the league or nothing. Like I'm gonna just practice these long shots. I mean, I see Lethal Shooter all the time, just hitting them, and I'm like, man, this it's hard. Like, I mean, it's hard. I mean, usually it takes about 15 to 20, or I leave some days and none go in. But that day, I think it was just like I've been preparing for this moment all year, and first one went in. Yeah, that did it for me.
Called it good, man. Called
Oh
it
yeah,
good. So let me ask you about this one. This is something that I've always kind of wondered, like the facilities difference between the Division Two and the Division One level. Like when you walked, obviously Colorado Mesa, they've got some good facilities. But then you get to somewhere like Louisville, right?
yeah,
What
yeah. I
was the
mean,
what was the difference like there?
I'd say the difference is just at that level, everybody kind of has their own digs. Like we share a facility with men's basketball. We have our side, they have their side. Um, even like the outdoor teams, like at Mesa, lacrosse and soccer have to share. They have their own fields. You got your field hockey field, your lacrosse field, your soccer field, of course, the football stadium, and the
Mhm.
arena we play in downtown. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, everything is, of course, nicer there. Like I say, it's just good to have your own because you don't have to worry about different practice times and interfering with their practice time. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely on a whole nother level. I think the first day I got there and I got a tour, I'm just looking around like, oh my God. Like I say, I felt like I was on a visit or something. I'm like, dang, this is like nice. Like, and even one of my favorite parts about our facility, I mean, we have a slide that goes down from like the upstairs offices to the court. So I get on that
What?
every once in a while. Yeah, it's like a slide. It goes from like the patio to the practice court, and it goes down to the court. And they got some pads down there, and that thing is fast. Like you'll fly down that thing. Like, but
So
yeah,
what
that
we
that's
So what we need is a video of you going down the slide with the camera through the slide. That's what we need.
Okay, yeah, I got a few of those already, so I'll send it to you after we wrap it up on here for sure.
I love that. I love the slide. Theo, we're gonna do like a little 21 questions round here. When you
Ooh, I suck
played,
at these.
when you played, what was your jersey number, and like, was there a reason why you wore that jersey number?
So I started off with 9, and then I was lucky to wear that the my first year and my second year at my other school. And then when I got to about my third head coach, he assigned numbers. So then I got 13, and now I'm just like, and I like to stick with numbers. So I was going to stick with 13, but then that next year, he let us pick numbers, and I had class. And it sucks because I was a senior, so I thought I would have the number, but I was in class, of course, and one of my teammates took my number, so then I had to move to 6. And then, yeah, that next year I went back to 13. So 9 was my favorite jersey number. I've worn that since like my first year of T-ball and all the
Yeah,
way up through high school. So yeah, definitely 9.
9. I like it. Was there like a reason why, or just like you got that in T-ball and you just stuck with it?
So that was my dad's number. I
Okay.
think he wore 9. Yeah, I think he wore 9 when he was coming up, and I think he switched to like 8 in college or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, definitely wanted that, and just having it for a long time, it just kind of, just my number.
Yeah. Who did you look up to growing up? Like,
Um,
who's your idol?
my baseball idol, I say definitely Barry Bonds.
Mhm.
Man, I read books on him. Like, man, I mean, of course, everybody knows, the records and everything. I mean, just exciting all around. Like, and
Yeah.
that's like kind of like my favorite thing I love to hit. Like, I was like, when I played, I wanted to be feared when I was up at the plate. I wanted, that respect. Like, oh man, like he's up. Like, so yeah, definitely Barry Bonds. But as far as just being a college athlete, I have to say, like my cousins I was talking about earlier, or my
Yeah.
sister, like just going to their games and like going to my cousin's football games, and he's showing me the locker room and giving me a tour of everything, and he's giving me equipment like gloves and all that. And even my sister playing at Savannah State, like she's giving me stuff. Like she got me a glove one year. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a lot of my family played a part for sure.
Definitely get that. What's your favorite style of music?
Man, anything that sounds good. Like I like hip hop, rap, R&B, country, rock, um anything, just good music.
Yeah.
Like fun fact, I used to actually make beats and stuff like that, like
Oh, okay.
coming up in middle school and high school. But of course, baseball got a little too serious and didn't have time. I was putting my time into all that. But yeah, man, and one of my favorite things to do was sample. And that's basically just taking an older record and like making it a new beat or whatever, like remixing it, whatever people call
Yeah.
it. But yeah, that was like my favorite thing to do, like just taking like those older records and then just making it something new and fresh.
You got like a favorite artist?
Man, that's another thing. I mean, just being from here, I mean, of course it's so many, but I grew up on a lot of Jeezy, Gucci Mane, T.I.,
Yeah.
a lot of 90s R&B. I mean, that's just, I mean, I can go on and on about 90s and 2000s R&B. I mean, it's just so many, but man, it's hard for me to choose a favorite because everybody's style is different.
It's so different. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then yeah, I used to be way up on my music, like when somebody dropped a mixtape or an album or record. I
Yeah.
had it. Back in the day, we had LimeWire. Where I
Mm,
don't know if you know about LimeWire, but definitely
yeah.
was not legal, but used to get
Not
all
even
music from
close.
there. Yeah, burn CDs, and yeah, so I yeah, definitely always been to music. But yeah, I just say music nowadays, it's just one of my friends, he gave the correct term. I can't. Yeah, he said like today's like music is just microwave because like
Yeah.
anybody can pick up a microphone, anybody can post their music now. So it's like not enough time put in it, and you can just the quality is just different. But
Yeah.
here and there, like nowadays a few sprinkles will come out. Like I like Big X,
Yeah.
Boss Man D-Lo, he got his own style. I like him. So yeah, them just a few like the newer artists that I listen to a little bit.
Yeah, I've gotten into Big X a little bit lately. Um, I honestly I had no idea who he was until I think he showed up in Boulder for a Colorado game, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I kind of like listened to a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, okay, he can get on with this. I can
Yeah,
get on
man.
board with this."
He flows. It was funny. One of the football coaches we had when I was at Mesa, I think it was like January 23, and we had a couple of kids on a visit, and they play music and stuff like that, and he played him. And I was like, man, who is that? And I just started listening to him a little bit, and yeah, he got some hits for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
he definitely.
he got nice flow. He got some hits, and yeah, he samples a lot. Like all his beats,
Yeah,
like yeah, man, yeah, I definitely enjoy his music right now.
yeah. So obviously, you know, people like us, we work all the time. We're always working. We're always trying to come up with ideas. We're always trying to pull inspiration from somewhere. But do you have like a hobby that doesn't relate to work?
Mm, that's another thing I'm trying to find because this is like my first time where I actually like have a little.
You
I
have
wouldn't say I have a
time.
lot of free time, but I have
Yeah.
time to do other things.
Mhm.
Like right now, I'm just kind of getting back into exercise and then working out. Like my favorite thing to do in Louisville right now is we have a walking bridge that goes from downtown to Indiana, and it crosses over the Ohio River. And I just, I go there like 2, 3 times a week. I want to get into golf. I suck right
Ooh.
now, but definitely want to get into golf, man.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of golf for I mean, I played it when I was growing up a little bit, and then I kind of got once I quit playing baseball, I had a little bit more free time, and I was like, okay, so what do I do here? Like, so I
Yeah, and
started
then
playing a little golf.
covering golf, it just like just being out there on the course, like it's relaxing. Like,
Oh,
especially in Colorado, I mean, they got some beautiful courses there in the mountains and stuff. So yeah,
oh yeah.
definitely want to get into some golf. Like, yeah, I wanna be ready when I know I'm never ready, but right now, if I'm driving, I'm shaking 4 out of 5 of 'em. Like it's it's terrible. But
Well, and then like as a baseball player, we got that natural slice to the right side. You know what I'm saying? So you just kind of it just kind of goes where it wants to go. You know?
yeah, and you think like, okay, yeah, I play baseball, I can swing, it's gonna translate good. No, it's definitely not.
No.
It's two different swings, like way more focus, and because baseball, I mean, you got this a lot of room of error. Like, I mean, but in golf, it's like, yeah, you shank it. I mean, your ball could end up
Oh,
on the
you're gonna
street,
know.
in the woods. You might not even hit it. Like that was one thing. I'm like, I can't even hit the ball to start off with, or if I hit it, definitely not going where I want it to go. So
Exactly.
yeah, definitely
Exactly.
want to get into some golf.
A little bit of golf action. I like it. If you could have dinner with any celebrity and or athlete, or you can do both, who would it be?
Oh, definitely Mike Vick. That was like
Oh,
one of my one of my idols growing up. I mean, especially being in Atlanta around that time. I mean, you couldn't go
yeah.
anywhere without seeing a Vic jersey. Like, I mean, anywhere, the grocery store, um, church, like man, the whole city was behind Vic. Definitely. And like I say, I didn't even really play football that much, but just seeing him made me want to play football, made me want to
Yeah.
play quarterback. Like, I mean, and
Yeah.
and then it was crazy because my grad year at Albany State, he actually came there to speak, and I found out
Really?
about it. Yeah, and I found out about it. I was like, yeah, I definitely got to go to that. And and after he was signing, I waited to get my jersey signed. I got to take a picture with him. So yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. Yeah, and I told him he was the greatest, which he probably hears all the time. But then he told me, man, I appreciate that, man. That made the rest of my year, man. That was definitely a big highlight. I was nervous. I felt like a nervous little kid meeting his idol. Like I'm walking up to him. I got the jersey in my hand. I'm probably shaking. Then the guy who's kind of coordinating it, he was like, "Oh, you got the jersey the wrong way," and I'm like, "Oh." But yeah, man, that moment definitely gave me goosebumps. I couldn't believe I was even in Michael Vick's presence.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. What's like something people don't know about you, like secret talent that you got that nobody might know about?
Man, secret talent. I mean, definitely I would say video games. Like I'm getting back into that. I just got
Yeah.
a PlayStation not too long ago. I had to wait till it went on sale a little bit, but yeah, I'm getting back into the gaming a lot. I
Yeah.
wish I was doing it like I was doing baseball because like all the streaming stuff is going on. And it's
Oh
just
man.
crazy. And I'm well out of my prime. Like I just I'm well out of my prime with video games. Like so, it's just good to get a win like here and there. But I definitely yeah, trying to get back in the lab and get my skills up.
There you go. We like that. We like to hear that. I mean, yeah, the whole streaming thing, like I got some friends that do it, but I'm like, why would I want to watch somebody play video games though too? You know what I mean? Like if I want to
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
video, I want to play the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think just with streaming, it's a whole nother component. But like
Oh yeah.
fun fact, like I really don't even like being on camera that much, like so like to be able to stream and be entertaining and keep people
Yeah.
engaged and really just the consistent part of it. Because I mean, though I mean it's a grind. Like it's like work. They gotta do it however so often, whether if it's once a week, 3 times a week, or anything like that. So I salute those guys on that because it takes dedication and
Yeah.
you gotta kind of have a personality to go with it too.
Well, and like, people are like, "Oh, you gotta love being on camera because you hold the camera and all this." No, like
Yeah, like
there's a reason we behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly,
even when I'm broadcasting, I'm not really on camera. You can hear my voice because I'm doing like play by play or color or whatever I'm doing that day. But it's like the camera's on the players. It's not on us up in the booth.
yeah, and I like making
So
other people look good. Like
yeah,
like making other people look like stars. Like I. To be honest, I get nervous when I'm on camera. Like, like I don't know what to do. Like, it's like I don't know. Even on my personal Instagram, I might post like once a year or like once every 2 years. So
yeah. I mean, like I come on, I do this podcast all the time, or I do my YouTube videos. But like I said, my YouTube videos those started just as a joke because I was bored, and so like I ain't really all about like being on the camera and everything. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm just kind of here like I'm taking the video of these guys for them, not for me.
exactly,
So, yeah, it's always kind of that funny misconception of, "Oh, you like being on camera. That's why you know." I actually
no,
don't. I went and found my way behind the camera.
yeah, but I'm definitely like even stuff like this. I'm trying to get used to it. Trying to
Yeah.
get a joy for it because
Well,
like
yeah.
definitely like doing stuff like this. Telling my story to people.
Yeah. What's your favorite types of movies?
Movies, ooh, man. Like I say, just like entertainment wise, like it can range. Like I like
Yeah.
chick flicks. I like violent movies, love romantic movies, like anything like good. But
When
let
you
me see my favorite movie. Man, that's so hard.
like
Cool.
when you say like chick flicks, what do you mean? Like when you say chick flicks, like what kind of
Like
movies?
Mean Girls,
Mean Girls, okay.
um, Bridesmaids, like those are
Bridesmaids.
just my favorite two I can think of off the top of my head. Like
Okay.
fun. Just I like comedies for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, that definitely has to be like top on the list.
Yeah. I I had to watch Mean Girls. I took a sociology class in high school, and one of the assignments was we had to watch Mean Girls, and I had never seen it, right? It,
Yeah.
and I kind of we walked into class and she's like, "Okay, like this is what we're doing." I'm like, "All right, whatever." And I was
Yeah,
like,
and it was
"Damn, this
just
is a good
funny.
ass movie," you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it's funny because then like you also sit there and you think about it, and it's like, yeah, I know somebody like that. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, damn, this person resembles somebody I go to school with, or like that
Yeah.
they have this same mindset. And
Or
then
or
like
I dated a girl like that.
and that could be good or
Uh,
bad.
that could be. That could be very yeah. Are you a big TV guy, big TV watcher kinda guy?
Man, not really. Like, I mean, I'm a YouTube guy, and I'll just say
Yeah.
like maybe because I'm cheap, I never had cable. Like, growing up at my parents' house, I had cable, but like I'm like YouTube guy. Like, I like watching a lot of podcasts because like a lot of athletes nowadays they have podcasts, and
Mhm.
they just don't talk about sports, they talk about everything. So it's
Yeah.
just entertaining, like, to see them, because you would never think like, oh, they could
Yeah.
run a podcast, like, they but it's just good to see like them on that level, doing
Yeah.
something other than playing. Like,
Yeah.
one of my favorites right now, I like the Raw Room. As like Darren Bates, Jesse Collins, and
Yeah.
King Dunlap. And
Mhm.
then Jeff Teague's podcast, I mean, it's
Yeah.
funny. Everybody knows about that. I'm pretty sure everybody runs clips on that nowadays.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Shannon Sharp's content. His content is funny, and
Lakers
man.
of 5.
Yeah, man. They're funny, man. I enjoy watching them. And then yeah, man, I'm definitely a big YouTube guy, like podcast guy right now. That kind
Yeah.
of has my attention. Maybe like need to catch up on a few shows, because you know how it is working in this industry. Like, you just
Yeah.
don't get the every week this episode comes out or whatever. But I like binge watching, so that's even good for me. Like, if I do miss a whole season and I could just sit
Oh,
down for like 2 or 3 days and just go through it, like, I like
yeah.
that better than just waiting on like every week for a new episode to come out.
So, like, what have you binged recently?
Um, it's a show called Raising Canaan,
Raising Ki
whatever. Yeah, I think I said, yeah, Raising Canaan. It was like a spinoff from Power. Well, Power was
Okay.
good. I used to be
Yeah.
into that. And then, they got a couple of spinoffs, but that was like my favorite one. And I think I watched all the way up until season 3. They might even, it might even 2 seasons might pass by. I'm so far behind, but definitely gonna start that hopefully next week.
Yeah. See, I got into the, All-American kick
Oh
last
yeah.
summer. So I
Yeah, All
was
American was
like
good.
right after literally right after we all worked JUCO together, I had to house sit for my aunt and uncle, and they had Netflix, and, like, I was like, I've heard like, I'd seen clips on it on my TikTok, and I was like, "Let's see if this shit's any good." Yeah, I binged all at the time, it was 6 seasons in,
Yeah,
like, a
it's
week.
funny too. Yeah, it's, man, because I mean the acting, it can get a little dramatic sometimes, but I like the story and the concept
Yeah,
of it for sure.
the story and the storyline. The new season's kinda interesting, like, it's kinda they've gotten rid of, like, a lot of the main characters. You still got, like, Jordan Baker and, Layla and Coop, and, Preach is in there still, but now it's, like, a whole, like, the younger group almost now, like, the kids now are, like, the main focus, so that's kinda cool to see. But, alright, Theo, you got any last words for the people, man? Where can they follow you at too? I want you to be able to pick up people to watch your stuff, watch your content. Can they follow you at? And if you got any last words before we shut this thing down.
Okay, yeah. So everything, Instagram, Twitter, I even have a TikTok that I haven't posted on. T Smith Creative underscore. And that's, like I say, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. T Smith Creative underscore. And then for the people who are on this journey, just enjoy it. Every stop has a purpose. Along this journey, I didn't know I would end up here, but definitely a lot of patience. I mean, even a little frustration on it, because like, man, it's like, man, I want to get there. I want to get there. Like, and but all the timing was right, at my stops. I needed to learn everything that I know now to be here, and just position yourself, to be in the best situation. If you want to be a videographer, do other things that like take pictures, or
Yeah.
even try to do play by play, or write press releases, or anything in the field, because that just sets you apart from everybody else. So just try to get your hands on everything and learn everything. And that's all I pretty much have.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro. It's always fun talking to you and hearing your journey is so amazing. For all you media maniacs out there, y'all know the drill. Every week we're coming up with another guest to talk about another journey. We appreciate you coming on this ride with us as always, and we will see you all later on down the road. We'll catch y'all later.
For sure. Appreciate